Over the years, school administrators and teachers have depended on a centralized system to process learners' assessment results and submit school data to the circuit office. However, many of us have experienced the frustrations of slow performance and system breakdowns, especially during peak submission periods. This happens because multiple schools are processing and uploading data to the system at the same time. In addition, since the system relies entirely on internet connectivity, any disruptions in the network can negatively affect system efficiency and productivity. In this series of videos, I will introduce you to the RISS School Management System, a powerful and comprehensive solution designed to serve one school at a time with minimal dependence on internet connectivity. What does that mean to your school? Once installed on your school's computers, the system is dedicated exclusively to your school's data. Only authorized stakeholders within your school can access and manage the information. Even better, the system is fully customizable to suit your school's unique needs and operations. And whenever technical support is required, assistance is provided directly at your school premises, not from a remote location, because the system itself is hosted within your school environment. The RISS School Management System is designed to give your school greater speed, reliability, control, and security in managing your school operations. Before we continue at this point, let me acknowledge and thank the management of Golden View Private School for fully adopting the system and trusting us to support their school day-to-day operations. Golden View is currently using the RISS School Management System to manage its daily administrative and academic activities more efficiently and effectively. Throughout this series of videos, we will showcase the customization we've developed specifically for their school and demonstrate how the system is complementing and enhancing the way the school is being managed. You will also see how a school-centered system can simplify administration, improve efficiency, and provide better control over school data and operations. Now, let's move to the system users. The RISS School Management System is designed around three main users. We have three main users of the system. The first group is the school administration and management team. This includes the principal, the school secretary, the accountant, and other administrative personnel responsible for managing the school's operations. The second group is the staff. This includes both teaching and non-teaching staff members. And for attendance purpose, the system also accommodates the maintenance and security team. However, these support staff members only access limited attendance-related features and do not fully engage with the system. The third group consists of the students, or as we lovingly call them, learners. Once logged in, the system automatically identifies the user's role and redirects them to the appropriate dashboard and access area. This role-based access approach ensures that every user interacts only with the features and information relevant to their responsibilities within the school. Now, let's have a brief overview of each system user's role. First, we'll start with the role of the administrator, who is the main user of the system. The largest part of the responsibility is with the administrator. And of course, some of these responsibilities can be delegated to other authorized staff members depending on the school structure and operational needs. The administrator's functionalities have been grouped under four main groups, which you can see. We have the school setup, the administrative tasks, the Ministry of Education requirements, and the system management. And these are a group of menu, so we are going to go into each of them one by one. So in the school setup, the administrator can add a new learner or update the existing learner's information. They can also add a new staff or update a new staff information. They can manage extramural groups. So when school starts, you have learners in grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11. However, when you form extra classes or you form clubs, learners from different classes come together and join that club. So you want to be able to also account for them. You want to be able to probably assign something to the whole group. You need to have them as a group. So in that part, the administrator will manage those extramural groups. The next in the menu, in the group of school setup is assign class teachers. We know in our various schools that every class has a teacher who we call the class teacher, who cares about the class and all the learners in that class can go to when they need assistance. The next one is also to assign students to teachers. In this case, we pick the idea from the management of Golden View. It is called a one-on-one meeting. So in every bicycle or every 2 weeks, a learner goes to their assigned tutor. We can think in quote a counselor to meet with the teacher and discuss some factors that are preventing them from demonstrating their full potential. And these are recorded so that if it needs the school's counselor's attention, the school counselor can see what transpired in the conversation and then give the necessary assistance. So we are going to delve into all these in detail. For now, let's just go through them. The next one in the school setup is managing the term. So when the term is about to begin, we are going to see how to set up the term in the system. Then the number of subjects that are offered in the school. The system also allows uploading of timetable, management of timetable exception days, which we are going to talk about shortly, and then subject enrollment management, printing of barcodes, printing of ID card, manage school calendar. So they are interesting things. I believe you are boiling to know what they are all about. Don't worry, as soon as we get into the next video, I'm going to take each of them one by one, and explain to you how they function and how they work. Okay, let's go to the second group of menu for the administrator. In the second group of menu, we have management of attendance, review of instructional materials, approve text and exam scores, check test and exam report per class, bicycle reports, view individual report card, bulk print of report cards, class list generator, uploading timetable, manage polls and surveys. And below is text architect, content manager. I will leave this one for the last because I am so particularly interested about that. It is actually a game to help the learners improve in their language skills. And it was an addition that we designed for the school. So since I am also an English teacher, I did it as a bonus. It helps me also in my teaching of the language. So we are going to talk about that separately. Let's move on to the next set of menu, which is the Ministry of Education requirement. This part, the administrator can handle the schedule, which is an important document to submit to the Ministry of Education at the end of every term. Then the assessment percentage analysis. This one is for the school purposes. Also, I think the Ministry of Education also requires that. Then we have the assessment analysis form A, circuit analysis. I think that is the one the ministry requires. So the previous one, we designed it just for the principal of Golden View for his own analysis, assessment percentage analysis. Then we have the record of orphans, the promotion gender analysis, where the ministry requires how many girls got promoted, how many boys got promoted, how many girls did not get promoted, and how many boys did not get promoted. That we'll get to know that into details when we are tackling them one by one. Finally, we have the system management. So we said one of the strengths of the RISS school management is not to make it too reliant on the developer. So we come in when there is a major problem. Otherwise, some problems such as who should access what which staff member should access what, or what should a learner access or not. All that should be managed by the school's administrator themselves. And delegating the staff portal. So we said that the administrator will be able to delegate some of their roles. If they are too much, they can delegate it to one of the teachers or the head of department. So that is the button they would have to press in order to delegate some of their roles. We are going to look at it. And then we have password recovery request. In case someone forgets their password, they should be able to send a request, and the administrator should be able to generate a token code to give to them to be able to get back on the system. And definitely we have system backup and restoration. So what happens in the online system? When there is a problem, you need to get back to them, and if the host has been backing up some of your data, they will be able to restore to you. What we have done here, since we want the system to be fully handled in-house, the administrator or the school management may have to back up data from time to time, so that in case there is a problem with the system, they will be able to restore the data. So that is it. That ends the privileges of the administrators. Of course, we are going to look at them one by one in subsequent videos. Now let's move to the teacher's privilege. So let's have a quick overview also on the teacher's portal. The teacher's portal also is a group of menus that have been grouped under 4 categories. The first one is the instructional materials. The second one is the management of assessment and marks. The third one is managing quizzes and polls. Yes, I told you it is a robust system, and teachers will be able to set up quizzes through the platform, and their learners will be able to take those quizzes, and the result will be returned to the teachers. And we have also put up a quick polls. You know, as we improve in our method of teaching, we may want to send a quick poll to have an idea of our learners' understanding of probably the next topic we are about to teach. Or why not having it even as a form to get feedback on the way the lesson was taught, and how many of them got it fully and how many of them did not get, and what are some of the areas they would like the teacher to come and brush. You can use the poll for so many things. Then we have management of learners reports. Let's take a quick zoom into each of them. So instructional manager, the management or instructional materials, the teacher will be able to upload lesson plans, class tests, view or download timetables, their schedule. So view my teaching schedule, and then the school calendar. They will be able to access the school calendar. In the second group of menus, the teacher will enter text exam scores. That is very important for the system in order to generate report card. They will be able to view approved test and exam scores. I will explain that further. It is something we picked up when we were doing the need assessment at Golden View, and we thought it is something interesting that the school is practicing. Then they will be able to view a learner's overall performance. They will be able to print subject test summary per grade. It is very important for every teacher, maybe for filing purpose or for making a case before the administration. So we are going to look at that also into detail. Then we have rate, character, and discipline. That is also something we also picked at Golden View, which is, for me, I thought is quite a good idea, so we needed to implement it for them. So we are also going to look at it in detail. Let's move on to manage quizzes and polls. So as the name suggests, teachers will be able to handle quizzes, manage it, administer the quiz onto the learners. The learners will take it on their platform, and results will be returned to the teachers, and the teachers will have their marks already. Then we have polls and survey, as I mentioned earlier. Let's move on to the management of learners report. So the teacher should be able to check a learner's attendance report, because the system will automatically record attendance. We are going to talk about that in subsequent videos. And the teacher will be able also to handle the learner support form. I mentioned it earlier that the school pairs teachers with learners, and those teachers act as counselors to the learners. So any one-on-one session that they have, they need to fill a particular form, and that form will be available. It is only between the teacher and the learner until there is something that requires the counselor of the school. Then the teacher can make reference, can refer the learner's form to the counselor of the school or the administration. So it is something very personal. Teachers only access the form of the learners that have been assigned to them. Then we have the single learner report card and then the class report card. So the system automatically generates the reports, but the remarks on the report are written by the class teacher. So every class teacher sees the report card of their learners and can make the remark and comment, sign it before those report cards are now sent back to the administrator for printing, and the system does that. Don't worry, I know you are itching to see how each of them functions. We are going to get into them. For now, let's just have a general overview. So let's move on to our main system users, those who make the system exist, the students themselves. Let's go to their view and see what they can view. You will notice that as we move from one group of user to another group of user, the privileges reduces. As I said earlier, majority of the privileges or of the responsibilities are on the administrator's side. And then next will be the teacher's side, because they have to process a lot of things from the students. And then those who have the least privilege will be the students. So the student can access learning materials, they can access their assessment reports, and also be informed about upcoming school activities or ongoing school activities. Let's zoom in quickly and see what they do there. So in learning materials, they can practice test repository. So as part of the instructional materials that the teacher submits for approval to the principal are also test materials. So when the test has been administered already, it still stays on the platform, and the teacher may push it or publish it for the learner's view. So assuming this year as English, we had all the grade 8 tests that I ran. I think that is what I mean. All the tests that I administered to grade 8, next year they will be available for me, the teacher, to probably use it again, or to the learners who will be in grade 8 next year for them to have access of it and prepare. So that is the idea there. And of course, take quizzes that the teachers have administered to them, which is the next one in the group. And then instructional and learning materials. So some instructional or learning materials that have been saved by the teachers, they can be PowerPoint, they can be handout. The learners who have access to it, they can copy it onto their flash drive and go and have them printed at home or study at home. Then we have the one I am keeping for last, which is the Let's Play Mr. Kobe Text Architects. You saw it in the administrator's view, and here is where the learner play actually the game, and they just have to click on this button and they start the game. I know you are itching to see, you are itching to know what the game is about, but I know any learner who has sat in my English class has played this game, not virtually though, but physically with papers. But now we've managed to make it virtual, and I believe we are all looking forward to be winners of the Let's Play Mr. Kobe game, but that will be reserved for later. Let's move on to the next group of menus that the learners have access to. The learners will be able to check their results and averages. So as the continuous assessment goes on and the tests are being taken, they will be able to know their scores and already start calculating their marks. In the university, we call GPA, they start calculating their GPA already. The system will do that automatically, so they just come and view so that they will be able to be informed about their progress and then know, especially if they need to sit up and work hard, they will know and sit up and work hard. They will be able to view and request for their report card to be printed. The main report card definitely will be finished at the end of the term, but the bicycle report, after every class test, they will be able to get their report and print it and give to their parents. In the long term, the school is planning to have the system online. Still, it will be handled by themselves, but to make it online so that parents will be also able to access the system and then be able to print the report card directly. That is just a decision they have to make. As soon as they want it to be online, we can easily help them send the system to the cloud so that they will be able, parents will be able to access it. Then we have the report card, which is at the end of the term. If the learner wants to have their report card before the teachers themselves, the school itself gives them a hard copy, they will be able to access it because the system does all the calculations automatically and makes the report card ready as soon as the marks are entered. And in that group, we have the bail and statement. This is just there, but it is the administrator that controls it. They determine when exactly the learners should see their bail and statement. Most of the time, the learners will not see it, unless maybe the learner has so much arrears that they have not settled before the system shows it to them. But it is meant for the school and the parent alone. Then finally, we have school activities where the learner can take polls and surveys, assuming the administrator sends in a poll for learners to choose their LRCs and other things. They will receive a notification. I will talk about what you see already on the screen, notification, calendar, and the chat. So they will receive messages from there and they can quickly go into the poll and take the poll. They also have the school calendar so that they know the set of activities that are coming, and you would even see the calendar notification, which always reminds them of the next 3 activities that are coming. So if a teacher sets a class test, they will know when the class test is due and it will set a reminder to them. And finally, we have the timetable. So learners have access to their timetable. When they are told that your timetable has been changed, they can quickly go and view it and have it printed directly from the system. So I believe this ends today's section. We have got a general overview of the system. I am more than excited to go with you into each section, each functionality, and explain how it works and the importance, how it contributes to the effective management of a school. So let's stop here since we have the general overview, and then watch out for the subsequent videos where we go into each functionality one by one. Thank you very much for your time and see you in the next video.